Good day, si Sir Mark ito. Let us discuss methods of philosophizing. By the end of this discussion, we will be able to differentiate opinion from truth, examine situations illustrating discrepancy between opinion and truth, understand that philosophy yields wisdom and truth, and our best hope is to demonstrate various ways of doing and evaluating opinions in our real life situations. So ang branches ng philosophy na gagamitin natin specifically sa topic na to ay logic and epistemology. How can we classify if a statement is truth or opinion? Let us find out. Skeptics or skepticism comes from the Greek word skeptikoi, literally means seekers or inquiries. Basing from this, skepticism is not merely or purely denial of truth, but a continuous process of inquiry wherein statements or experience is tested by contra statement. Magtanong, magsiyasat, magtanong ng magtanong, suriin ng suriin. Skepticism is a philosophical and intellectual activity that emphasizes the importance of inquiry, evidence, and logical reasoning. It reflects the idea that individual human experience and perception are the ultimate standards by which we judge reality and truth. However, this concept has been critically examined and challenged for several reasons. Consider this scenario. It's springtime. For Egyptians, it is warm. For Canadians, it is hot. An Egyptian cannot dispute a Canadian's experience as that accurately reflects how Canadians perceive spring. Similarly, a Canadian cannot challenge an Egyptian's viewpoint as it accurately captures how Egyptians sense the season. Ang Egyptians exposed sa desert, ang Canadians exposed sa malamig. No? So yung springtime sa kanila, iba-iba yung interpretation nila dito when it comes to senses, sa aesthetics. No? Given that both viewpoints are truthful, we can draw a connection to Protagoras' notion that man is the measure of all things, or homo mensura. However, if we were to embrace the notion that man is the measure of all things, or homo mensura, at tayo ang sole arbiter ng tama at mali, then there will be a chaos. Babalik tayo sa discussion natin sa ethics. There should be universal principle, no? Hindi pwedeng ako ang measurement ng lahat ng bagay sa mundo. Hindi pwedeng ako ang sole arbiter. Man is the measure of all things implies that I possess unrestricted authority to act based solely on my personal conviction. Ako ang bahala sa buhay ko. Ako ang magme-measure ng tama at mali. Ako ang sukatan nito. Hindi siya applicable. It can introduce chaos. The idea that I am the ultimate judge of morality kasi ang sukatan nga ay homo mensura, no? Might lead me to feel justified in taking a hamburger. Nagugutom ako, kuha ako ng hamburger sa isang food stall kahit di ako magbayad. Bakit? Kasi nagugutom ako at wala akong pera. Hindi pwede yon, no? Kung ang aim ko is mag-excel sa quiz sa philosophy at makatanggap ng mataas na scores, mag-excel, no? I might consider cheating kasi nga gusto ko na tumaas ang score ko kasi ang measure ng all things. I might resort to lying to a friend to evade consequences. So man is the measure of all things proves problematic and unethical. Instead, it is essential to acknowledge the necessity of universal norms, the universal principle that serve as a collective standard. Yun yung susundin natin, yung universal. Hindi natin kailangan i-bend at gawing nating homo mensura or man is the measure of all things. These norms are defined by laws that are upheld and adhered to by society at large. Noon pa man, no? Adhering to a shared set of principles ensure a stable and just framework within which our behaviors can be evaluated. Ayan yung guide, ayan yung universal principle, yan yung magiging batayan natin to measure our conduct. Hindi yung conduct natin ang mag-a-adjust dun sa ethics, dun sa ginagawa natin. Hindi pwede ang man is the measure of all things. Actually, skepticism is effectively countered through the application of empirical sciences, justified through belief, careful analysis of knowledge, exploration of theories of truth, examination of different types of truth, exploration of the highest principles of being, and use of logic. Talakayin natin ngayon yung justified through belief or JTB. JTB represents a conventional framework for defining and analyzing knowledge in the pursuit of truth. Pag minarinig tayo na statement sa kakilala natin, ma-analyze natin na truth ito through the help of JTB or justified through belief. For an individual to genuinely possess knowledge rather than mere opinion, the three essential criteria must be satisfied: belief, truth, and justification. So this definition suggests for something to qualify as knowledge, kailangan masatisfy itong criteria na to. In belief, the individual must genuinely believe in the proposition or statement. In other words, knowledge requires that the person holds the information as truth. Pinaniniwalaan niya yung knowledge na yon, no? Truth. In truth, the proposition or statement must actually be true in reality. Nagko-conform siya sa universal, sa totoo, no? Knowledge cannot be based on false information or belief. Babagsak siya ng opinion. For justification, the individual's belief must be justified or supported by good reasons, evidences, or arguments. The belief is not held blindly. It is grounded in a reasonable and rational manner. Let us provide and analyze a specific situation. Belief, it is daytime, according to Marie. Sa truth, it is indeed daytime. Chinek sa existing reality. According to the real-time context, it's daytime. Sa justification, paano nag-arrive si Marie dun sa salita niya na it is daytime? Marie checked the clock, observed sunlight, and verified the time with others. So this is the defense, how she arrived to that belief, no? To that justification, through that truth, no? Another example of JTB. Water is composed of hydrogen and oxygen atoms, sabi ni Jane. Water is indeed made up of oxygen and hydrogen atoms, sabi sa libro. No? Nag-conform siya sa reality, sa universally accepted idea. Justification, Jane studied the periodic table of elements, chemical compounds, and participated in lab experiments confirming the composition of water. So in the justified true belief framework, we have knowledge when something is true, we believe it is true, and we have good reasons or justifications for believing it is true. We can only assert that a belief is knowledge if it can be justified and it turns out to be true. Let us discuss the three ways to analyze knowledge. The knowledge by acquaintance, knowledge by competence, knowledge by proposition. When we say knowledge by acquaintance, ito yung familiar ka sa isang bagay or sa isang tao. Familiar ka sa noun, person, object, place, things, events. May direct experience ka or access ka sa tao na yon or sa bagay na yon, no? Knowledge by acquaintance refers to a type of knowledge that arises from direct personal experiences. Ang formula natin dito, a person knows A. Example, I know Justin very well. Madali siyang i-depensa. Paano mo nakilala si Justin? Well, Justin is my close friend. So, there's no need for further justification kasi kakilala mo siya. I know our president. Paano mo nakilala si president? Nakatrabaho ko siya dati or naging boss ko siya. No? So, hindi mo na kailangan ng further justification kasi familiar ka sa tao na yon. No? I know that place. O paano ka naman nakapunta sa place na yon? Well, I went there many times. The reason why I am familiar and I know that place. So, there is no further justification. There's no need for further justification kasi familiar ka sa lugar na yon, familiar ka sa tao na yon, madaling usapin siya, no? Kaya mong i-depensa agad kasi merong acquaintance ka sa knowledge na yon, sa statement na yon. Knowledge by competence. Knowledge by competence is something demonstrative which includes skills, abilities, know how to perform. Ang formula natin dito, a person knows how to X. Examples, I know how to play guitar. Talaga, marunong kang mag-guitar? Sabi, magtatanong na. Just demonstrate that you know how to play guitar. That's it. No? No further justification kasi demonstrative. So yung knowledge na yon ay specifically knowledge by competence. I know how to cook. Talaga marunong kang magluto. Just demonstrate that you know how to cook. That's it. No? Na-justify mo na siya. No? Na-demonstrate mo kasi magluto. So you own that knowledge, particularly by competence. Ang usapin ng philosophy ay primarily sa knowledge by proposition. Kasi kailangan mong i-justify siya or JTB din. No? Knowledge by proposition is knowing something that purports to assert a truth or facts. The most common form of knowledge discussed in philosophy. It refers to knowledge that can be expressed as propositional statement. Kailangan ng verification, kailangan ng justification, kailangan ng explanation. Ang formula dito, a person knows that X. Example, I know that 3 is an odd number. Paano mo nasabi na ang 3 ay odd number? You can justify this proposition by what you have learned from mathematics, particularly in identifying the odd numbers. I know that Quezon City was then the capital of the Philippines. Paano mo nasabi na ang Quezon City ang dating capital ng Philippines? So, tignan mo sa history. So, na-justify mo na siya. No? So, it takes time and effort pagdating sa knowledge by proposition kasi it requires justification. Let us discuss the theories of truth. Pragmatic truth, correspondence truth, and coherence truth. Pragmatic truth holds that a proposition is true if it is useful to believe it. Nakinabang ka, nagamit mo yung proposition na yon, then napatunayan mong nag-benefit ka, saka siya masasabing pragmatic. No? Kailangan mong gamitin muna or subukan. Truth is arrived at based on beliefs that lead to the best payoff na reward ka, no? That give the ultimate benefit or advantage that promote success. Example, naligaw ka sa bundok, nawala yung trail na sinusundan mo. Masasabi mo na pragmatic truth yung gagawin mo kapag yung trail na ginawa mo ay nakalabas ka sa bundok. Pag nag-fail ka doon, hindi ka nakalabas sa bundok, then hindi siya pragmatic truth. Condon's theory of truth states that the key to truth is the relation between proposition and the world. Kailangan nating i-pair, i-verify yung statement kung nagko-correspond siya sa existing truth. This means that a belief is true if there exists an appropriate entity. May naging ka-pair. If there's no such entity or hindi na pair, the belief is false. It has something to do with the claims being made with the state of affairs of the world, no? Want us to go outside, may effort din, no, to check whether the information being added or being paired about the subject is true. Example, there will be sunny day tomorrow. So titignan mo pa bukas kung magiging sunny day. Pag naging sunny day nga, correspondence, truth yon. There is a map in Luneta. Punta ka ng Manila, tignan mo kung nandun pa rin yung map. Pag wala na, then hindi siya nag-correspond. Opinion yon. Pero kung nandun yung map, saka siya nag-correspond. So may pagka-predictive, may pagka-tansya. Saka mo lang ma-establish na truth siya kapag na-verify mo na or na-pair mo na. No? The apple is sitting on the table. It can only be true if the apple is in fact sitting on the table. May verification process. No? In coherence theory of truth, it states that the truth or any true proposition consists of its coherence kasi truth na siya buhat pa nung umpisa. Universal na siya. No? Example, 3 plus 10 is equal to 13. Table of elements, 10 commandments. Human being is mortal. Water is essential for survival. H2O is the chemical formula of water. Universally, widely accepted na siya. Hindi na natin kailangang i-verify, hindi na natin kailangang i-experiment para mapakinabangan natin or mag-fail tayo or magiging successful yung gagawin natin. Kasi truth na siya in itself. That is coherence truth. Let us proceed with the 4 kinds and levels of knowledge. Subjective truth, normative truth, complex truth, and objective truth. In subjective truth, the individual sees it is truth. Very subjective. When we say subjective, maaring tama ito sa akin pero sa ibang tao ay hindi. Subjective truths are influenced by personal opinions, feelings, and experiences. Kaya nga ito yung lowest level of truth. They can vary from person to person and are not necessarily verifiable by objective means. Hindi siya entitled para sa universal approach. Examples, I feel bad. Maaaring sa ibang tao, hindi naman feeling bad sila, no? Today is a good day for me. Maaaring sa iba ay hindi good day yon. Chocolate ice cream is the most delicious flavor. Maaaring sa ibang tao ay hindi chocolate ice cream ang choice nila. Spicy food is too hot to enjoy. Maaaring sa ibang tao ay favorite nila ang spicy food. Normative truth means the group agree it is true. Nasa norm siya. Normative truths involve value judgment, opinion about what should be or ought to be. So yung grupo may binuong constitution and bylaws or practices or rules, no? In order to be fit in dun sa group na yon, ipapractice mo yung normative truth nila. They express how things should ideally be based on their standards, no? Examples nito ay ordinance, no? Sa pagpasok mo sa isang bayan, may ordinance. So susundin mo 'yon. Yung ordinance na 'yon, normative truth siya. Society should provide free healthcare for all its citizens. Maaring sa isang state sa US, wala pang free healthcare. Maaring sa ibang estado sa US, may free healthcare. Sa ibang bansa, merong free healthcare. Sa ibang bansa, walang free healthcare. Complex truth is a kind of truth where a statement is useful at any given time. Kaya siya tinawag na complex truth. Maaring siya subjective truth, maaring siyang normative truth, maaring siyang objective truth base sa interpretations sa facts na dinadala ng statement. Examples. The sun is rising. That is complex truth. Scientifically, hindi naman rising. Pero yung symbol ng rising, umaga na. That is true. Big Bang Theory. Pangea. Theory of evolution. The highest level of truth is the objective truth. The proposition is true to all. Universally accepted siya. Objective truths are facts that are independent of personal opinions, beliefs, or perspective. Hindi natin na-bend ang objective truth ayon sa ating inaasahan or comfort natin. They can be verified through empirical evidences and are generally accepted by people. Golden rule, 10 commandments, do good and avoid evil, human being is mortal, the earth revolves around the sun. Objective truth yon. Let us discuss the 4 supreme or highest principles of being. Tinatawag natin tong highest or supreme principles of being kasi no one can object, revise, and contradict this principle kahit ang Diyos. Tingnan natin. Principle of identity. What is, whatever is not, is not. Everything is what it is, everything is its own being, and not being is not being. Ang siya ay siya lang. At yung ibang bagay na yon ay iba yon. Hindi maaring magkatulad. No? Iisay identity. No? The principle states that each thing is the same with itself. Siya lang nag-own nun. And distinct from everything else. In other words, a thing is what it is and it cannot be something other than itself. Example nito ay identical twins. Kahit sila magkamukha, magkaiba pa rin sila. Cloning, ganun din. Kaya nga ang measurement natin ng security ng devices or mga gamit natin, retina or fingerprint. Kasi magkakaiba tayo, uniquely created tayo. Juan is Juan. Mark is Mark. Hindi pwedeng si Juan ay si Mark. No? Blue is blue. No? Water is composed of hydrogen and oxygen. So may nag-own, ownership ang principle of identity. Sa'yo lang yun. Hindi mo pwede siyang i-share sa iba. Principle of non-contradiction. It is impossible for a thing to be and not to be at the same time and at the same respect. This principle asserts that a statement cannot be both true and false at the same time and at the same manner or respect. In logical terms, hindi pwede ang contradiction. Examples. The apple is red and not red. Hindi pwedeng ganun, no? Dapat sabi, red ba talaga siya o hindi? You are beautiful and ugly. Beautiful ba talaga siya or ugly? I am here and I'm not here. I am now here in Laguna and Manila. It is raining outside. It is not raining outside. So, hindi pwede yung half-truth. Kailangan ay iisa statement mo. The apple is red. You are beautiful. I am here. It is raining. Principle of excluded middle. A thing is either is or is not. Everything must be either be or not be between being and not being. There is no middle ground possible. Sa jury, ito yung tinatanong kalimitan. Yes or no statement. Hindi pwedeng baka. Or, either, maybe, neither. There is no middle ground. The cat is either on the mat or it is not on the mat. The coin toss will result in either heads or tails. Kailangan mag-heads siya or mag-tails lang. The statement is either true or false. Dapat ay true o kaya ay false. There is no in-between, no middle ground. So, ang common words natin dito, pag nakakita tayo ng statement, either, nor, or neither, maybe, principle of excluded middle. Yun. Principle of sufficient reason. Nothing exists without a prior reason for its being and existence. This principle proposes that everything must have a reason or cause. Yung may dahilan kung bakit nandyan yan. That explain why it is the way it is and why it exists. In other words, there is an explanation for everything that happens. Example, the book fell off the table because someone accidentally bumped into the table. Hindi pwedeng nahulog na lang yung libro ng kanya lang. Merong nakasagi dito. The cake burned in the oven because the temperature was set too high. Ba't nasunog yung cake? Hindi ko alam. Kailangan merong masatisfy tayo na sufficient reason. The plant wilted because it was not watered for several days. So merong dahilan kung ba't nangyayari yun. In order for us to identify if the statement or what we see, hear, or read is true, we should consider the following: certain, constant, and common. When we say certain, known for sure, established beyond doubt. Sigurado ka, no? It is constant. The state does not change. Hindi nagbabago yung statement. Marunong kang pumunta sa Manila? Oo. Bukas, tanungin mo, marunong kang pumunta sa Maynila. Parang hindi. So, hindi na siya true. It is common, applied to all, universal, collectively and distributively observed, accepted without limit or exception. Consider if the statement or what we see, hear, or read is just mere opinion, if it is unreliable, unstable, unusual, unreliable. Doubt tayo sa statement, not providing what is needed or promise. Say for example sa fake news, di natin alam kung saan nanggaling yung statement na yon. Unstable, changing the statement, not firm, sudden change of the statement, no? Mali-mali spelling o kaya ay hindi consistent dun sa sinasabi. Unusual, different from multitude or uncommon. Hindi siya applied sa universal. For a statement to qualify as a source of knowledge, it must inherently embody truth. Otherwise, it remains confined to the realm of opinion. Ang requirements natin para masabi natin na yung statement na to ay knowledge, kailangan ma-establish siya na truth. Masabi natin na isang statement ay knowledge kung ang statement na to ay beholder ng truth. Kung siya ay nagbabago, hindi siya applied to all, subjective, at hindi siya talagang kapani-paniwala, therefore, bababa siya sa opinion. For a statement to qualify as a source of knowledge, it must be inherently embodied truth. Otherwise, it remains confined to the realm of opinion and lacks the essence of being a genuine wellspring of knowledge. So, ang establishment ng truth can be classified or accomplished by variety of means, empirical sciences, validation of justified true beliefs, analysis of knowledge, exploration of theories and various levels of truth, recognition of diverse forms of truth, and foundation of highest principles of being. As individuals exposed to digital information, how can we distinguish, analyze, and evaluate opinions from truth? Feel free to share your thoughts and even devise your own methods.